Hey everybody, Alex Wiseman here to talk to you about our Week 2 class. As you know, we will be meeting virtually this week because I am out of town. And so I'm preparing this screencast and talking to you about the topics for today via the screencast so that we can still stay on schedule even though we won't be meeting together synchronously in the classroom or online. All right. So let's get going, shall we? Today's topic is getting ready to write. And let me just getting my pointer ready. So getting ready to write is our schedule for this week, our topic for this week. And so we'll be talking about ways that we can get ready for the writing process, even though we're not already there. So remember, this week is an online-only week. There will be no live class held because the professor, that's me, is abroad speaking at a conference or workshop. I'll be in Tübingen, Germany, speaking at a conference which I can tell you more about in person. So in lieu of our regular class, I'd like for you to do 4 things. One is, please don't forget that your Week 2 quiz is due on CourseSite. And if you haven't completed your Week 1 quiz yet, that needs to be uploaded, answered, whatever you want to call it, before the regularly scheduled time when our class would meet during Week 2. Second of all, your group should have their letter of inquiry done and submitted through CourseSite. And you should be able to submit as a group, so each of you in your group shouldn't have to submit separately. If one of you submits, all of you should be submitting together. That's the way the group function works on CourseSite. Thirdly, I would like for you to use your regularly scheduled class time as well as any other time that you can handle during the week to meet with your proposal team. There are several things that I'd like for you to do. One of the chief things I'd like for you to do is work on the Aligning Mission project so that your mission, the mission for your proposal team, is not only aligned with the organization that you're working for, that you're writing the grant proposal for, whether that's Lehigh University or that's Two Bros nonprofit or that's Caring for Cambodia or whatever it is. And I want you to align the mission from that organization. I want you to align that with the grant maker's mission. So whoever the grant maker is, whether it's USAID or the Spencer Foundation or you name it. So you need to make sure that the mission of the organization that you're representing, the mission of the grant maker, and your team's mission all come together. Look at last week's slides for more information on that, and those are available on our CourseSite page. Finally, I would like for you to work on preparing your assignment number 2, which is the fundraising strategy. Now, there are some detailed instructions in the syllabus, and there's specifically a link to a sheet that you can fill out as you're preparing your fundraising strategy. I cannot tell you how highly I recommend and urge you to use the linked checklist or sheet that you fill out. I think it is a fantastic tool for working together as a team to put together your fundraising strategy. So see the instructions and the resources in the syllabus. I think it will help you tremendously. So even though we aren't having a live class this week, you are doing quite a bit. You're meeting with your group at least for 3 hours, because that's at least the time that we're spending in class. You are filling out or completing the Week 2 quiz on CourseSite. You're submitting your letter of inquiry, assignment number 1, for your group. You're meeting with your proposal team to work on that aligning mission thing, and you're also meeting with your proposal team to prepare your fundraising strategy using the instructions and resources linked in the syllabus. Now, there are a couple things that we're doing today. One of them is identifying funding sources, and so I'm going to take some time to just talk about some of the ones that I find the most useful. You will notice that as part of the reading for this week are 2 appendices, Appendix 5 and Appendix 6. So you're looking at the representative list of community foundations. It begins on page 341, and that will simply list for every state several different community foundations that you could request funds from. For example, for Pennsylvania, they have, when I get to the P's, they have listed here the Berks County Community Foundation located in Reading, the Center County Community Foundation located in State College, the Erie Community Foundation located, shockingly, in Erie, and the York County Community Foundation located in York. The closest one to us would be the Berks County Community Foundation in Reading. It'll have all their contact information, including a website and an email address. There also is a Appendix 6 on websites. It starts on page 358. And I'll be going through a couple of those here, but I did want you to have all that information at your fingertips. So make sure that you're looking in your text, that you're doing the assigned readings. I think that will help supplement what we're going to talk about in our screencast today. So there are several different government grant opportunities that are available out there, and most of them have pretty helpful websites where you can go and see what kinds of requirements there are, what are they actually funding, how do we get started with that. I have 4 of them for at the national level listed here. There's Grants.gov, there's the U.S. Department of Education, there's the Institute of Education Sciences, or IES, and there's the National Science Foundation, all of them listed here for your viewing pleasure. And if you go to grants.gov, let's start there. It is the centralized grant site for the U.S. government. All of these other organizations that I've listed on this page will also be posting their grants on, or their RFPs on grants.gov. So let's see if we can click through and go there. Okay, once you click on grants.gov, this is where you go. This is a really helpful website, I think, and let me just shift so you can see if I can get this to go away. Not what I wanted. So here's the grants.gov website, and you'll see that it is, when we click through from www.grants.gov, it actually added a whole bunch to the URL, but if you just have this basic part of the URL, you should get here. And there are many different ways that you can go about looking at this site. You can find open grant opportunities that are listed right here. One of the ways that I go through this is I look at the agency that's doing the funding, because usually my interests are not with, for example, the Bureau of Justice Assistance or the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. I look for things like NIH sometimes has interesting stuff related to education. These don't happen to be that, neurobiology of migraine. The National Science Foundation is often a good source for comparative international education stuff. U.S. mission to Pakistan, usually a part of the USAID when they have U.S. mission to wherever listed. And look, they have some interesting ones here: women's empowerment, entrepreneurship programs, people-to-people connections through film arts programs. National Endowment for the Arts are also good ones. You can find some interesting humanities-related education work that could be funded through them. So you have to really go through and take a look at what's available, but you can scroll through pretty easily. Here's one for education specifically related to special education. And find ones that could be related to your area of interest. You can also search for grant opportunities using the big red button that just went away. Let's go back one. Search for grant opportunities, and you click on that, which I've just done, and it will pull up a search screen, and you can type in keywords. Let's see if I haven't done this already, so I don't know if it's going to pull up anything. But if we just typed in comparative education, we get a couple of interesting things pop up. We get an information on Uganda Literacy and Health Education Program, sponsored by the USAID in Kampala. We get Teacher Incentive Fund Program by the Department of Education. We get some other stuff related to treating chronic diseases and underserved populations from the NIH. There's something from the Fish and Wildlife Service. Anyway, you can see that there are several different opportunities that might be related. So a lot comes up. So if you were doing something, let's just type in TESOL and see what we get. Oops, yikes. And we're going to press search. Nothing. If we type in teaching English, we do get some things. So it doesn't mean that they're specifically about TESOL or ESL or teaching English, but they do have teaching and English in the title somewhere. And we have some scholarship programs, we've got computing education, we've got summer seminars, we've got actually some really interesting stuff popping up. So grants.gov is going to have a lot of different information that you could take a look at. It's very helpful for finding sources or opportunities for funding that you might not otherwise see. You can also look at the different kinds of things that are available for applicants. For example, you can apply for grants. If you've already applied, you can track your application. You can look and see whether or not you're eligible for a grant. You can register. Usually when you're going through Lehigh University, it's the organization that does the registration. We've already searched for grants, so we've done that. If you want to, you can also take a look at all these other opportunities where you can see the different information that's available. So I highly recommend that you poke around a little bit. Try browsing by categories or agencies. Let's just, for the heck of it, click on education here on the categories and see what we get. And boy, a lot pops up. So there's a lot out there, and you should take a look at as much of this as you can. You can also restrict the kind of funding that you're looking for, either by agency or otherwise. And anyway, I think it's a really helpful way to go about looking for different grants. All right. Another one to look at is the U.S. Department of Education, which is, if you go to www.ed.gov, that is a great place to start. This link actually takes us to the Grants Apply tab, and let's click on that and see what we get. Here it comes. Oh, the internet. It's connecting. So when www.ed.gov and the Apply for a Grant link comes up, this is what you see. If you just went to the home page, by the way, the ed.gov one, you could do that and you would find this right here. And if we wanted to get back to where we were, simply go to funding, or there are like 5 different ways you can get there, and apply for a grant. That's where we were just a minute ago. So it talks about there being, and just to prove it, go back here, same page. 3 kinds of grants. Discretionary grants, those are the ones we're normally interested in when we talk about applying for a grant. Student loans or grants, those pretty self-explanatory. And formula grants, which use formulas determined by Congress and have no application process. We are interested in discretionary grants because these are the ones that we can apply for that have a competitive process. And we can find grant programs by eligibility. We can look at what is actually being put out there in terms of application information from the Federal Register or from open competitions. Let's start by looking at grant programs by eligibility and see what we find. If we were to align ourselves with Lehigh, we're an institution of higher education. Let's see what we get. I just clicked on that. We're waiting for it to open up. And we have a couple of different things available to us. Not all of these will be current, by the way, but we have a couple of different things available. One that is about strengthening institutional programs, one that's about undergraduate preparation, one that's about recreational programs, etc., etc., etc. If we were to go back and let's say we're a nonprofit. If we're a nonprofit, we get a very similar list, actually. Anyway, you can see the different ones that are available here. I'm not going to go through each and every one of these, but I did want you to see what you could find if you clicked through. Let's go back here and let's look at the open competitions. Shall we do that? So field initiated projects. Let's take a look at that. There's these are all past due, right? These aren't ones that are currently open, but they're recently past due. And we'll click on that and we'll see what this is. Field-initiated program competitions for grant funding opportunities are listed below. Let's say field-initiated program research. Let's click on that. So applications are available, oh, here we go, on December 30th. The deadline for transmitting the applications is February 28th. It's a very short turnaround time. It will give you some information about where you can find more information. Let's go to the Federal Register and see what we can find on this. If we can. I'm not sure where it went just now. Here we go. There we go. Field initiated program. The